Hey guys, welcome to Carnivorous Plants Hub. Today I'm going to be bringing you an update on the Nepenthes Ventrata that I purchased from Home Depot here. It was about 9 months ago that I purchased this plant. I went ahead and I repotted it and I split it into two different pots. So you can see I got one pot right here. It's a hanging planter, and then I got the other one over here. And today I'm going to be kind of showing you guys what they've been doing and how they've been growing. As you can see, just based on what you're seeing right now, it's kind of a jungle out there. So I'll kind of show you which pitchers belong to which plant. If you recall, if you were here with me back when I repotted these, you recall that this one here was repotted in more of a sphagnum moss mix, kind of surrounded by the peat and perlite. So that one's mainly planted in long fiber sphagnum moss. And then this one over here is actually planted in just peat moss, silica sand, and perlite mix. So we kind of wanted to just kind of monitor both of these under the same conditions and see which one is growing better, which one's producing more pitchers, which one's producing more basal shoots, and I'll kind of show you those. And then also on top of that, if you guys remember in my last video about 3 months ago, I pulled off some basal shoots, and I'm going to give you an update on those. They look kind of shabby, but it's actually really good news. So because I didn't think that they were going to make it. Let's go ahead and start with the actual plants themselves, and then we'll move on to the basal shoots here in just a minute. Real quick before I do that, guys, I just wanted to thank you so much for being here. Let you know how much I appreciate you supporting my channel. Make sure to subscribe so you can get future updates and future videos, and check out these plants and see how they continue to grow and how they continue to do. I'm trying hard to get everything together to start my own carnivorous plant nursery, and I'm actually getting just a little bit closer to starting and selling my own soil for carnivorous plants. So again, thank you so much for your support, and thank you so much for being here. But let's not talk too much about that. Let's get into these plants here. That's why you're here. So let's start with this guy here. Again, when I first purchased these from Home Depot, these both came in one planter, and what I did is I divided them and I put one in each planter, and this is kind of how they're doing now. As you know, I've already taken off a bunch of basal shoots from these, which is those guys over there. So now this is going to be all fresh growth. This one has actually just started producing pitchers again, which has been really nice. You can see this is a really nice pitcher here. You can see how big it is compared to my hand. A nice two-tone red and green. Really beautiful pitcher. And actually I just noticed that I got a little stowaway down here, don't I? Look at that. Pretty little ladybug hanging out. That's pretty cool. Don't go in the pitcher, ladybug. Ladybugs are awesome to have around your plants because they'll eat a lot of the pests and stuff, so I'm kind of happy to see that there. But so then I got this guy here that's growing in. Is going to be a nice pitcher. This one over here grew in a little while ago. It's a little bit older now, but you can see these are all coming off of sort of the main plant. You can see it splits right there. See, get that to focus. You can see it splits, and this one is just kind of the main plant, and all of these pitchers are growing off of that main plant where it splits down there and takes off. It kind of goes behind this bar here, but you can see there is a lot of plant growing back here, and it actually splits again. You can see I got this one over here which split off, and then I got this one over here which split off. The only problem is that neither of these two big splits that come off from the main plant are producing any pitchers, and I'm assuming it's just too much plant for this main plant to support. So I don't know, I'm not an expert in Nepenthes Ventrata. I probably need to talk to somebody and see if it's best for you to maybe cut one of these guys off here. You can see right here, get down, you can see that's where it kind of splits into two plants right there. One that comes up there, and then one that kind of goes out over here. So I don't know if I need to maybe cut one of those off and treat them like a basal shoot cutting, and see if I can get them to root in a different pot. I'm kind of thinking that's probably what I'll do. But on top of this one here, this main plant growing these pitchers, which looks really nice, having these 3 new pitchers, I'm actually getting some new basal shoots down here. So I actually have 3 in total. I'm going to try to get these for you guys. These are kind of tricky because I got to turn this and show you at the same time, but I got these 3 basal shoots down here. There's a main one on top there, little guy over there, and then underneath here, I don't know if you can see that, there's another little one underneath there, a chunk of perlite on it. But yeah, so you can see that this one is planted in the peat, perlite, and silica sand mix, and it's actually doing really well. It's growing new pitchers. The basil shoot, there's 3 new basil shoots coming off of this one, and it is producing the new growth coming out the top, but it's not producing as many pitchers. These pitchers over here are actually not on this plant. All of these pitchers over here are on the other one, and we'll talk about that in a second. But so it's doing a good job with its main plant. It's producing these pitchers here. It's producing a lot of basil shoots, but the extra plants that are popping out here just aren't getting any pitchers, at least not yet. So, and that could be, you can see where my light is right here, this Vipar spectra. You can see where the pitchers are growing are kind of directly under that light, and that might be part of the problem, is that this one's not getting quite enough light, especially these ones back here. So maybe I need to come up with a better lighting situation. Maybe I need to figure out a way to get these a little more humidity, since these are a tropical plant. But let's go ahead and jump over to the other one real quick, and I can show you how it's doing. So this is the other one. And real quick, I'm just going to show you the basil shoot, because it's kind of tricky to get to, and I just kind of want to get that out of the way. But this is a cool basil shoot. So check this out. It's got one big basil shoot here, which is really nice. And it's cool because you can actually see this one coming off the main stem. So a lot of times these basil shoots come out of the substrate, but this one here is actually, you can see it coming right out of the main stem there. So this one will be easy to cut when it's ready, but that's the only basil shoot coming out. This is the one that's planted in long fiber sphagnum moss, and then the surrounding soil is pea moss. But the main plant is actually potted in long fiber sphagnum moss. So this one here didn't do anything for a long time, and you can see kind of following this one main plant, it's split right here, and there is some growth coming off of this basil shoot, but that's not where the main growth is happening right now. If you kind of follow this one around, you can see this one is going nuts right now. So I have this guy coming in. So I got this one that's just about ready to open, a really nice size pitcher. This one back here that's actually huge, really nice size. So that's 3. And then this one just came in, really nice size pitcher. 4. This is going to be a pitcher. We got 5. This one here is pitchering 6. This one looks like it's probably going to pitcher. That's what they look like young, so probably 7. That one right there you can see is definitely a pitcher. 8. Another one down here that's kind of hard to see, but I'll bring it up here. So 9 is another pitcher right there. So at least 9, 10 pitchers all popping out of this main plant right here. And one of the big differences between it and all the other ones is that it's right under my Vipar spectral light. So I'm guessing that has a little bit to do with it. You can even see, like if you look at the leaves, like look at the color of the stem here, the red. Get out of the way of the light so you can see it. You can see how red it is. It's kind of funny how it curved up right there, but look how red it is, and then the red kind of stops the further this way that you get. So it turns less and less red. And then as you come down the stem, you can see it just kind of turns green because it's getting a lot less light over here. So I think one of the biggest differences is just getting a ton of light over here. It's changing colors. So I think that's probably the main thing. But yeah, so let me come out here a little bit so you can kind of see both of those guys. You can see that it looks like a jungle under there. I don't really have room for any other plants on that shelf anymore other than these Nepenthes. Down there is I have my Sansi bulb set up down there, and I've got some of my baby Venus Flytraps flower stock cuttings. So you guys can go check out those videos. Totally different thing. I'm not going to get into that today. Okay, now jumping to the next part of the video, I'm going to be talking about the basil shoots. So these I cut off about 3 months ago, and if you remember, you can go check out the video, but they looked like they were in a lot better shape back then. They had big beautiful pictures on there that were coming off. They looked really nice, but they actually all really died back. And I talked to someone about that, and that's actually pretty normal when you do basil shoot cuttings. There's a lot more death that occurs than growing in the first 3 to 6 months, and I'm at about the 3-month mark. So what they said you're really looking for is not necessarily the new growth, but I did get some new growth coming out the top, some new leaves that popped up a little bit, but they said what you're really looking for is nodes, new nodes that are starting to pop out. So let me show you this one here as an example and why I have a little bit of hope and optimism with these. But look at that there. Let me see if I can get that to focus. You see that node popping out right there? That is new growth, and that's going to be probably the new stem from this plant. So it's just taking a little bit of patience, but I am starting to see that new growth now, which is really nice. That one's probably the most defined, but all of these are starting to show. There's little nodes kind of popping in and all these, like that one there. I don't know if it's going to focus. You can see there's a little tiny one there just starting, but all of these have sort of the little nodes. This one's a little bit bigger, so I put it in a bigger pot. But you can see there's a node right there that's starting to come in. Kind of hard to see, but basically it gives me some hope and some promise that these are going to actually take off. For a long time I thought they were just kind of dying slowly and nothing was going to happen. And I even, if you remember from my last video, I had them repotted in these, and it was just too big. It was too hard to manage. It took too much water. And I didn't feel like that the long fiber sphagnum moss was staying in contact with the roots enough, and I repotted it in these. And the last time I kind of took a peek to look at the roots, there was some roots growing. So I decided to repot them in just smaller. These are my little Death Cube Rescue Venus flytraps that I get from like Lowe's and Walmart. I save all those little pots and I put them aside, and that's what I've kind of put these in. And those nodes started growing probably about a month after I repotted these in those. So I think sticking with the smaller pot makes it a lot easier to manage. They take up a lot less room. It's a lot easier to keep them watered, especially while their roots are really small and really young. I'd show you the roots, but I really don't want to mess with them right now just because they're starting to do good. I don't want to mess with the roots again until I have to repot them. So we'll take a look at the roots when I do the repotting of these, and I'll make sure and do a video of it for you, but I'm not going to mess with those right now. But so yeah, this is 3 months. They look terrible, but there's a lot of hope right now with those new nodes popping out that we're going to start getting some new plants, and they're going to start producing some solid new growth and some new pictures here in the next coming months. So, but yeah, guys, so there's my Nepenthes Ventrata. All of these plants that you see in front of you here, all of these Nepenthes all came from one rescue that I got from Home Depot. It was just one plant. You can actually go check out that video too. I'll pop it up here for you to check out so you can see what this looked like originally, and kind of what that one plant has turned into now. It's turned into kind of a jungle here. So yeah, looking good. You guys can check out my light. I have a link to it in the description, so make sure and check that out if you want to check out my 5-part spectral light. It's been a really awesome light. It's actually doing these plants really, really well for getting these pictures to grow. So all right, guys, well, thanks again for being here. I appreciate it so much. Make sure again, subscribe to my channel, like this video. Liking the video really, really helps, and leave me a comment, ask me a question. All those things really help me out, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Bye.